Here's a number that might surprise you. In a landmark study of 8th graders, self-discipline explained more than twice as much of their final grades as IQ did. Not motivation, not raw talent, discipline. And it isn't just school. In a 40-year study that tracked 1,000 people from birth into adulthood, kids with higher self-control grew up to have better health, stronger finances, and fewer criminal records, even after accounting for intelligence and family background. That's discipline reshaping real-life outcomes. Why does this matter for your day-to-day? Because the average person spends huge chunks of the day managing desires and impulses. We're constantly tempted, constantly deciding. In daily life tracking studies, people reported resisting desires over and over, succeeding most of the time but still failing about 17% of attempts. And they spent about half their waking day experiencing some desire. If your day feels like a tug of war, that's normal. Discipline is how you rig the rope in your favor. So if you want to master your journey, in your career, your money, your health, don't wait for a wave of motivation. Build the habits that keep you moving when motivation disappears. Stay with me. Next, I'll give you a simple daily discipline system you can start today. Every day, we wake up to a choice between what's comfortable and what truly matters, between the distractions pulling at our attention and the quiet call of our goals waiting to be pursued. Most people believe success is about talent, luck, or sudden bursts of motivation. But if you look closer, if you study those who consistently reach their goals, you'll see a different truth. Success is built on discipline. Discipline is the ability to guide your steps, even on the days you don't feel like moving forward. It's the force that turns intentions into actions, and actions into lasting results. Without it, routines crumble. With it, even the smallest habits compound into extraordinary change. Think of discipline as the invisible framework of your life. It's not about perfection. It's not about never slipping. It's about choosing again and again to show up for yourself, to honor your commitments even when no one is watching. And that's what mastering your daily journey really means. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about building the discipline to take one step and then another until the path you walk each day leads directly to the future you've been chasing. Let's be honest, discipline is one of the hardest things to maintain in our daily lives. We wake up with good intentions. We plan, we set goals, we promise ourselves that today will be different. But somewhere between morning and evening, life gets in the way. The first challenge? Distractions. We live in an age where attention is the most valuable currency, and everyone is fighting for it. Our phones buzz with notifications. Social media feeds never end. A quick break turns into an hour lost. Each distraction seems small, but together, they quietly rob us of the focus we need to stay disciplined. And once our focus is scattered, so is our progress. Then comes procrastination. We convince ourselves that tomorrow will be better, that we'll start the workout tomorrow, write the first page tomorrow, make that call tomorrow. But tomorrow rarely comes the way we imagine. Days slip by, weeks turn into months. Procrastination isn't just delaying action. It's delaying our growth, our potential, and the life we could be building right now. And perhaps the most common challenge of all is the lack of motivation. We all know what it feels like to start something with energy and excitement, only to lose steam after the first obstacle. Motivation fades because it's emotional. It rises when we're inspired, but it vanishes when things get difficult, when progress feels slow, or when nobody is there to cheer us on. Waiting for motivation is like waiting for the weather to be perfect. You'll be waiting forever. These three forces, distractions, procrastination, and lack of motivation, are what most people battle with every single day. They create a cycle of starting and stopping, of promising and failing, of dreaming but never truly doing. And the result? Frustration, regret, a sense that we're always busy but never truly moving forward. It's like running on a treadmill, expending energy, but staying in the same place. But here's the truth. These challenges aren't signs that you're weak or incapable. They're part of the human experience. Everyone faces them. The difference between those who stay stuck and those who rise above is one simple word: discipline. Discipline is what cuts through distractions, what ends procrastination, what carries you forward when motivation disappears. Without it, our goals remain just that, goals. But with it, even the biggest obstacles lose their power. So the real challenge isn't avoiding distractions, escaping procrastination, or waiting for motivation. The real challenge is building the discipline to act, no matter what's happening around you. So how do we actually build discipline? If distractions, procrastination, and lack of motivation are the problems, what's the solution? Discipline isn't built overnight. It's built one small decision at a time, through strategies that make consistency easier and failure harder. Let's break down the practical steps you can start applying today. Step 1. Set clear goals. Discipline has no power without direction. You need to know exactly what you're working toward, not just a vague idea like, I want to get fit, or I want to be successful. Your brain needs something specific, something measurable. For example, I will work out for 30 minutes, 4 times a week, or I will write 1 page a day for the next month. Clear goals give your discipline a target. Without them, it's like trying to run a race without a finish line. You burn out before you even know where you're going. Step 2. Create routines. Discipline thrives on structure. The more decisions you automate, the less mental energy you waste. For example, if you plan your mornings the night before, you don't have to decide what to do when you wake up. You simply follow the routine. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't debate whether or not to do it, you just do it. That's the power of routine. If you can make your important habits feel as automatic as brushing your teeth, you won't have to rely on willpower alone. Routines are discipline on autopilot. Step 3. Practice self-control techniques. Discipline isn't just about what you do. It's also about what you resist. And in a world full of temptations, self-control is a skill you must train. One technique is the 5-minute rule. When you feel the urge to procrastinate, commit to doing the task for just 5 minutes. Most of the time, once you start, the resistance fades and momentum carries you forward. Another method is temptation bundling, pairing something you enjoy with a task you tend to avoid. For example, only listen to your favorite podcast while exercising, or only make your favorite coffee while studying. This turns discipline into less of a battle and more of a system you actually look forward to. Step 4. Control your environment. Willpower is limited. If you're constantly fighting temptations, you'll eventually give in. Instead, set up your environment to make discipline easier. Want to eat healthier? Keep junk food out of the house. Want to focus better? Put your phone in another room while you work. Want to wake up earlier? Place your alarm across the room so you have to get out of bed to turn it off. Your environment should work with you, not against you. When you design your surroundings with intention, discipline becomes far less about resistance and far more about flow. Step 5. Track your progress. What gets measured gets improved. Keeping a simple record of your actions, whether it's a checklist, a habit tracker, or a journal, creates accountability and motivation. There's something powerful about seeing your consistency build over time. Each check mark becomes proof that you are capable, that you are disciplined, and that you are moving closer to your goals. And when you slip, and you will, tracking makes it easier to get back on track quickly instead of spiraling into guilt. Progress is about patterns, not perfection. Discipline is not about being harsh with yourself. It's about building systems, routines, and habits that make it easier to stay consistent, even when your motivation fades. By setting clear goals, creating strong routines, practicing self-control, shaping your environment, and tracking your progress, you give yourself the tools to stay steady on your journey. And remember, discipline isn't about doing everything at once. It's about starting small, being consistent, and letting the small wins compound into major transformations over time. To see how powerful these steps can be, let's look at Sarah. A young woman by name Sarah had always dreamed of writing a book. Every year she promised herself she would start, but distractions and procrastination always got in the way. She would sit down, feel overwhelmed, and convince herself to try again tomorrow. One day, she made a small but powerful shift. Instead of saying, "I will write a book," she set a clear goal. "I will write 1 page a day." That was it. She built a routine, waking up 30 minutes earlier and writing before she checked her phone. She used the 5-minute rule. On days she didn't feel like writing, she promised herself to write just for 5 minutes. Often, those 5 minutes turned into an hour. She adjusted her environment, putting her phone in another room and keeping her desk clear. And she tracked her progress with a simple calendar, crossing off each day she wrote. At first, the pages looked small, but weeks turned into months. And eventually Sarah looked back and realized she had written over 200 pages. What once felt impossible became inevitable, all because she built the discipline to stay consistent. Sarah's story isn't rare. The truth is, discipline doesn't demand perfection. It only asks for consistency. Small, repeated actions guided by structure and focus compound into massive change over time. And if she could do it, so can you. Discipline isn't just a concept. It's a force that can completely transform a life. To see how powerful it can be, let me tell you another story of someone who turned their entire world around by choosing discipline over comfort. John was in his early 30s when he hit rock bottom. He was out of shape, drowning in debt, and stuck in a job he didn't enjoy. Every night he promised himself he would change, but every morning he woke up repeating the same patterns. Fast food for breakfast, scrolling his phone instead of working out, telling himself he'd try again tomorrow. Months turned into years and nothing changed, until one evening, while staring at his reflection in the mirror, John admitted the truth. No one was coming to save him. If his life was going to change, it had to start with him. And it had to start with discipline. He began small. His first goal wasn't to lose 50 pounds or pay off all his debt at once. It was simple. Wake up at 6 a.m. every day and walk for 20 minutes. That was it. No excuses, just consistency. The first week was hard. The alarm felt unbearable. His body resisted, but he kept going. One day became a week became a month. Soon, that 20-minute walk turned into a 30-minute jog. The jog became strength training, and for the first time in years, John felt momentum. Discipline in fitness spilled into other areas of his life. He built a routine, meal prepping on Sundays, budgeting every Friday night, reading instead of scrolling before bed. He applied the same principles to his finances. Instead of trying to fix everything overnight, he made one disciplined choice. Every paycheck, he would set aside a fixed amount before spending anything else. First, it was small, but over time, his savings grew. His debt shrank, and with each step forward, his confidence returned. 2 years later, John's life looked unrecognizable. He had lost over 70 pounds. He was debt-free. He had started a side business he had once only dreamed of. And the best part? It wasn't because of one massive burst of motivation. It was because of discipline, small, consistent choices made day after day, even when no one was watching, even when it wasn't easy. His story proves a simple but life-changing truth. Motivation might get you started, but discipline is what carries you across the finish line. That is the power of discipline. It doesn't just change your habits, it changes your identity. It takes you from who you are today to who you know you can become. So what can we take away from all of this? We've seen that the biggest challenges to discipline are distractions, procrastination, and lack of motivation. But we've also explored strategies that can help us overcome them. Setting clear goals, creating strong routines, practicing self-control techniques, shaping our environment, and tracking progress. Through Sarah's story, we learned that discipline doesn't require massive leaps. It grows from small, consistent steps repeated daily. And through John's story, we saw the life-changing power of discipline to not only achieve goals, but to completely transform identity, health, and future. The truth is simple. Motivation fades, but discipline lasts. Discipline is what gets you moving when you don't feel like it. It's what keeps you on track when distractions pull you away. And it's the quiet force that turns ordinary days into extraordinary results. So whether your goal is to write a book, get healthier, build financial freedom, or simply become a better version of yourself, discipline is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. Remember, every small decision matters. Every consistent action compounds. And over time, discipline doesn't just change your habits. It changes your life. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's your biggest challenge when it comes to discipline? Or maybe you found a strategy that really works for you. Share your story in the comments below. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if you found value in this video, make sure to check out my other content where we dive deeper into building habits, mindset, and strategies for success. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a new video that could help you on your journey.